There y'all are back again. What y'all doing down here in my shop? Oh, y'all want to see what I'm going to do today? Well, all right, well, here we go. Fella brought me this glue head right here we're going to work on. It's, I'm going to have to put it in my positioner, weld this up right here, get that welded up and get the diameter back up. He wants to change the thread size on it, so we're going to get this welded up and get her in the lathe, see if we can get it turned down and get some threads on it today. Hope so. Y'all stick around, let's see how it comes out. Some folks say, well, Red, let me see your shop. There you go. First one of y'all say something about how nasty my shop is, you more than welcome to come down here and help me clean it up, because most times I ain't got time. When I got time, I don't feel like it. So there you go. All right, this thing right here, it was pretty bad off in my position. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a little plate that'll bolt up right here. What I've done here, got it set up in my milling machine. And I got my hole finder. That right there is like we did the edge finder the other day. It's the same thing. So we'll push that down in there. I done lined it up. See, that thing slides back over there and it lines back up in the hole. Kind of get it pretty even. I'm gonna have that hole a little bigger anyway, so it doesn't have to be exact. And then we'll just take our DRO right there and we'll zero everything. We'll call that one 0. Then we'll pick this up, run it down. Check that one right there. They're 1.5 inches apart, basically, 1.506. So we'll write that down as a part. And that way, then we'll come back across. And there's that one. So the y-axis is 0.983 apart. There's your two numbers. Now all I got to do now is get a plate, put it in there, and drill a hole on those coordinates right there. She'll bolt right up. All right, we're gonna drill a 7/32 hole in there. It's just a tad bigger than what was in there, and see what we'll get our holes drilled in this. Fits. It's got that little deal on there. There she goes. She set down flat. We got enough slack in there. I believe we'll get her bolted up. See what the next step is. All right, what we're gonna do is now I'm gonna go ahead and take this, turn this back a little bit, and give me something I can drill a hole in that and got a shoulder on it and put it up there and make it flat. That way this thing gonna be straight, because I'm gonna end up using this thing as a holder to when I go ahead and machine it down. The first one I did, I changed this out to a 4-jaw chuck and had to center it up that way, but I can do this right here. It'd be a lot easier to weld it and do that. I can do both. A hose screws onto it, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like it's gotta be, dead in the center or anything. All right, we turned that down to a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch, left ourselves a little shoulder there that we can push that in with. Nice thing about that digital readout, you can just sit there and run all your numbers. You don't have to measure and move and all of that. Hard press right on in. I'm gonna clean that up first. Yeah. That slid right on down in there. All right, I'm gonna clean this up. Go ahead and drive that the rest of the way in. Then we'll set it up and weld that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just get this faced off here. All right, we're gonna look for some bolts, see if we can get her bolted up. Well, all right, well, here's our jig finished up. Got it on a 3-jaw chuck. I had to go get some screws yesterday to bolt this thing up to. So I put it in my lathe first in the 3-jaw. I'll go ahead and I indicated off of this, tapped it around there before I got those screws all the way tight to get that centered up. I don't know, I'm thinking about putting a bar or something across there, because when I start turning that thing, I don't know how much she's gonna move or anything, but that, or I may just put a little spot tack right there and grind that back off. Anyway, something to when I'm turning it, I don't have all the stress being just on them screws. Something hang and break one of them, then you're in a band. So we're gonna look at that in a minute, and I'll make up my mind on what we're gonna do on that. Well, all right, we got it set up and everything. There we are in our new little jig and everything. So I've got that pretty well lined up where she's gonna start. I'm gonna try to video this. I'm tell you right now, I don't have a lot of luck with this. It's either too dark or too bright, but I got some tips the other day, so I'm gonna try those and see if that works. Okay, all we're gonna do here to make this thing a remote switch, we're gonna unplug this from our lead. Just got a couple of little spades there and a little piece of 2-wire. Put them in there. And I got on the other end, I just got a little regular off and on toggle switch right there, and that's all we do to cut that off and on. That was getting way too hot. Well, like I said, I got it a little too hot. I hadn't had this thing long, and that adjustment right there, I mean, you can tune it however you want to, but it's don't really have any numbers to go by, and you just kind of have to do it kind of like feel and stuff. And I don't run this thing a whole lot. But anyway, making excuses, she kind of wadded up there, but there's one thing about it. When I get done, I get this machine down, it'll all be smooth. A lot of times, and I've said this in some of my clock videos and stuff, it's better to go ahead and put too much on there now and turn it down than it is to have to bring it back and do more welding on it after you done got it set up in the machine and stuff. I went on and did, while I had it there, I went on and tacked it here to our jig, so I won't have to worry about something happening to it, seeing how I got a little bit more to machine than I had originally planned. But she's gonna clean up there and look just fine when we get done with it. Well, all righty, we got our little square here and got it squared up. Got it on our cut there. Brought a tool over there so it's squared up to that. These inserts here, that's where they're set up. Cause you can't get your fishtail in there, it's too small. That's the way I learned how to do it years ago, was fishtail you square it up with. Okay, we're doing a 7/8 14. So there's our 14. Got to be an 8. We're in 8. Come across here, we're in C. There's C. And A. And we're in A. Alrighty. We'll see if we can get started. All right, let's measure this. There's an old fella I used to know, he turned crankshafts. So he always said if you can take that mic, put it on there, you can take it off and put it back on without any slack in it. He said that's your correct reading. So I've got where I always do that. Supposed to be 7/8, 875. We just a hair over. We're gonna be all right though. We'll truncate them threads a little bit. That'll be close enough. All right, I'd already cut a thread, then cleaned it up to do the measuring, because I thought about that. Wanted to prove what the measurement was on that. We just checked with 14 threads per inch. So let's get started and see if we can get this thing threaded out. All right, them don't look too awful bad at all. All right, they're sliding over it right there. Let's see what that reading is. We'll go calculate it now. I knew something didn't come out right. When I pulled them out, I had 40. Thought I had 40 wires, and I had number 45s. They were sitting right side by side. So when I pulled them out the packet, I pulled the wrong set out. All right, let's go calculate that number, see what we come up with. Seeing how my calculator's on my phone, y'all hold on a minute. All right, now, one thing, an indicator I use, you see I blued that to start with, and I like that bluing because that'll leave you'll be able to just see just a hair of blue right there. When you go into a sharp V thread, and that's what they all are sooner or later, unless you're gonna truncate it or whatever you're gonna do, that's what it's gonna end up being. So you can take that down a little bit from there. That's my opinion. There's somebody I'm sure if they can tell me how wrong I am at that, but I don't have a lot of trouble when I do it this way. But I'll blue that, and then when I get down to where I'm looking at it, I'm not really seeing any blue right there. The first little bit I take off, I'll take that thing down, buff it down, clean it up good with a brush, hit it with a file, knock them burrs off right there, brush it real good, and then check and see what you got. You're gonna be pretty close. You'll know how much more you gotta go from there. All right, I'm gonna try to get this done. All right, that's 885 and a half thousandths. All right, that's what we measured. All right, our constant on a 14 threads per inch with a number 40 wire is 0.05814. So there we go with 0.05814. Okay, well, I can see all of this now. There's our number. Basic pitch diameter, 0.8286. Write that down. 0.8286. All right. Well, I got to cut this off. It's the only dang calculator I got's on my phone. Okay, when we're done the calculations on that, that come up to 0.82736. Our basic pitch diameter out of the book is 0.8286. So 8286, so we're less than a thousandth of being what that basic pitch diameter needs to be. So he said he wanted this nut to fit. Pull them wires out before I be done lost in. There's our nut. And there's your screws on there. Pretty snug. Pretty snug. Cause I got a lot of lip the other day about folks acting like I didn't know how to measure threads and set all that up. But there you go. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna take this thing out, take these bolts out, grind them tacks off, clean that piece there up, be ready for the customer. Well, all right there, sports fans. This episode's coming to an end. I do want to run one thing by you, though. There's a lot of people, a lot of time, you know, they get down on themselves, things not going real good for them and all of that. Take your Bible out and read Job. Old Job, he had a hard time there. Everything was going good, and then all of a sudden the bottom fell out on him, and he lost everything he had. But one thing he never lost was his faith in God. And at the end, he was rewarded with that and doubled everything he had. So if you think you got it bad, go read Job. Y'all be careful, stay safe, go to church on Sunday. See you later.